Hello there, Ray here, and welcome back to another Minecraft farm video. Today I will be showing you guys my simple and safe Wither Rose farm. This is upgraded to use the new bubble column redirecting. In 1.16.2, they changed it so a lot of projectiles can now be redirected by bubble columns. And I did a whole video covering all the different projectiles and crazy stuff you can do with it, like prevent withers and dragons from ever hurting you. And I applied this to my Wither Rose farm here. We got some bubble columns, and if any skull would happen to get past the wither and try to go after the chicken, it will just get shot and redirected and pointed down into the ground. The entire farm is pretty simple. There's not a lot of blocks to it. There's a spawning platform, there's a drop chute, there's a killing chamber, and then there is a wither cage with a single chicken as a target. We're also getting very close to 200,000 subscribers. If you haven't already hit that button, make sure you do. It would mean the world to me. Wither roses have quite a few uses, including making black dye as well as killing mobs very quickly. But one of the prominent uses for them is to make my 1.16 and above wither skeleton skull farm. It's a simple yet highly effective farm in producing tons of wither skulls while you're AFK, which you can use to make beacons. And I actually designed a beacon farm which automatically collects wither skulls, puts them onto soul sand, and kills the wither without even needing the player. Plus it gets all the other materials for your beacons. Now recently Mumbo Jumbo actually used my previous Wither Rose farm on Hermitcraft to then eventually build up my simple wither skull farm. He managed very well in building up both of the designs and does a lot of cool redstone builds over at his YouTube channel, and I've linked it down in the description. And if you are from Mumbo's channel, tell me down in the comments. And in this video, I'll show the changes I made to the Wither Rose farm to make it even easier to build and making it safe for repetitive usage in the future. Now, I only changed a small part about my farm, so if you want to learn how to remove the portal block, summon in the wither safely, as well as choose the ideal location, all that is covered in the previous video linked below. I also briefly cover the dimensions of this farm. The height is somewhat important, but the size of the spawning platform up here isn't very important. You can choose whatever size you want. And this is what the endermite looks like with everything here. And I go into detail how to put this all in previous videos. But what I will be covering is the changes that I made to this. The first minor change I made is I removed the sorting system that sorts out the pearls from the wither roses. Just because you end up getting so many wither roses, you might only run this farm one time. But even if you wanted to run it more times, it's not too difficult to pull the wither roses away from the ender pearls. And it does make the build a bit more simpler than having some auto sorters there. The other thing I did was added in these bubble columns here. This will redirect any skull that would happen to get past the wither so that he never ends up hurting the chicken. So let's just stop the wither from shooting over there. There is 2 water sources right there, 2 right there, and 2 right there. And then this is where the soul sand is. So to put those in, I just put the soul sand in and then put water like that. And there. And there. That's all the water you need. And from the soul sands, there is 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks, and then we built in this little piece right here. Just a block the chicken is standing on, a torch, and a carpet to prevent endermen from teleporting to it. The way that you know that the chicken is too far back is if the skulls are making it past the bedrock, hitting the bubble columns, and then being shot around it. I'd advise dropping the chicken onto this block here and then kind of pushing him up against a wall so he's on that side. Then you can put in your torch and carpet. Now he's in the perfect location. And then we can just remove these blocks. It's just like that. Now the wither can see the chicken. If you spectate the wither, you can barely see the edge of the chicken. What's important is the red line here is how the chicken sees, and it's also how the wither see the chicken. Only if they both can see each other from the center of those red lines connected will the wither attempt to shoot at him. His main head is shooting out this skull that's up here. 2 side heads are also shooting out skulls, but they're immediately being destroyed by the bedrock which they are inside of. And the side heads use the eyes from the main head to see the target. So even though their heads are inside of bedrock, they still think they can see the chicken, where the main head can actually really see the chicken, and that's why we have to prevent him from hitting the chicken. His skulls are currently going kind of at an angle, and they're clipping the edge of this bedrock here and being destroyed. But for safety reasons, if that bedrock was missing or if he would happen to get a skull by, the bubble columns here will easily redirect the skulls up and over the chicken. Now the angle at which they are shot doesn't actually change, so they're kind of angled like this. Even though they go up a little higher, they're still angled and they will eventually hit the ground. Some things to keep in mind is that most skulls that come on the main head are these black ones. Like 1 in a couple thousand will be a blue one, and blue ones can actually destroy any type of block besides like bedrock and a couple other ones, and they can actually destroy liquid sources near the blocks that they hit. And that's why we don't have any water right here, at least sources, because they can be destroyed. The benefit of the wither being able to see the chicken at any given moment is that upon relogging or leaving the end dimension and coming back or unloading the chunks, the wither will search around for a new thing to shoot at, and he will see this chicken over here and just start shooting it, when before you had to flick a lever to let him see the chicken, but then then hide it after he does find it. That was really difficult because people could accidentally load your farm without you knowing it and wouldn't flick the lever. Then the wither would get bored and just start randomly shooting skulls. And he could even rotate, and then these side heads could be here, and then he could be shooting downwards, and he could shoot at this wall right here. Now normally the cobble wall would withstand these black skulls, but they can randomly shoot out blue ones like I said, and those can destroy pretty much anything. I know some of you guys asked if you could waterlog this, would that protect it? And the answer is actually no, because blue skulls could destroy it. And here's a clip of the wither actually shooting a blue skull. You can see how it destroys some of the water. So with this setup here, you don't have to worry about the farm acting differently when you come back to it. And with that size platform, the farm produces over 3,000 wither roses per hour. If you want more per hour, make the platform bigger. And the AFK spot is way up there where I have my alt account. Also have a command summoning in some endermites so we can illustrate what's going on. That's commands over here if you want to turn it off. Now you don't actually have to spawn proof the island around these gateway portals, because when you're way up in the air, nothing is going to spawn on them. And endermen aren't going to teleport there either because they're going to immediately die on being killed over there. Just remember to cover everything else with double carpets so they don't end up teleporting to a nearby place, which they won't despawn from. Now if you have any questions on how to build this, I'd recommend just checking out the world download here. I have it linked below. You can see where every block is placed exactly. You can check out stuff like render distance, difficulty, and if you're ever having problems, you always can ask in the comments. It most likely has to do with your server running some mod like Spigot or Paper, in which case you should ask your admin. I'd like to see more simple farms, or maybe like look at complex farms or just some crazy glitches. I have a playlist for all three of those and they're fun to binge watch. I also have a series where I'm trying to farm up every item in the game Minecraft, so if you ever wonder if an item could be farmed, check out that list. And don't forget to leave a like as well as share this video with others. I'd like to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye!